In front of me is an OPPO Reno, and I'll show you a couple of tweaks and tricks that you can do on your device. So starting off, I'll show you the app lock, which when you have a bunch of apps open, for instance like music or whatever, so let's actually find play music, and I'm gonna open up a couple other things just to keep it so the background is actually filled with stuff. And now when you go into recent apps, you will have these open, and for instance you want to keep the music open so it still plays, and what you do is basically tap on the three little bars and you can have lock or unlock. When it's locked, now when you do a clear of all these apps with the basically bulk clear like so, music player will always still stay open no matter what you do. So you can always do that for other apps. So I could do it for settings if I wanted to, although it might not make much sense, but you can always lock it. If you want to unlock something, you just tap on the three little bars and tap on unlock, and now the app will disappear. So that is one thing. Now moving on, we're gonna go into gesture navigations, which already are in settings. So from here, scroll down till you see convenience aid right here. And from here you will see navigation keys, so I can go here, and by default you have also options for the navigation keys that are already here. You can use the Google ones with options to switch where the back button is on which side, and also like when you have the recent app button, you can also switch the position of it too. But you also have swipe up gestures right here, and from here you also have like three different options. And you can have the gesture navigations for basically like if you would have the buttons but they're a swipe up, they're not showing up anymore. And you have two options for this, so back button is on right or left depending on how you like it, or you can go with this one, which back button is on both sides, and recent apps is basically a hold up instead of like just swiping. So as an example, now that it's enabled, I can just swipe up and hold my finger there, and it will take me to the recent apps, while sliding from any of the sides will take me back. So that's a fairly nice thing, but I'm actually gonna go back to the physical buttons because it's easier for me to tap than press or slide when it's on the little stand. So moving on, we're gonna go into smart sidebar, which is barely visible right here. You can go, as you can see, that's what I'm talking about. And you have settings for it. When you go one back to convenience aid in settings, you have smart sidebar, and from here you can just change a tiny bit of enabling it or disabling it, and then also how if it works in landscape mode or not. And if you want to add something, you can just pull it up, and you have the little add button which can add apps to it. And you have a couple other like shortcuts, for instance like shortcut or notifications. So it's a fairly nice thing. It's similar to how Samsung has it, but still a nice touch. Then moving on, we're gonna go on to screen off gestures, which again it's in settings, and I think it also is under convenience, gestures and motions, and yep, there it is. So gestures and motions, and then screen off gestures. And as you can see, there is, it's already enabled, but you have other things that are already, at the moment disabled. You have the double tap to turn screen on, which would enable. You have draw and O to enable camera, or V to enable flashlight. Music controls, which you can draw like a arrow to skip or go back to a previous song, which I'm gonna disable. I don't really have a way to showcase it, but for instance flash and other things I can. So if you lock the screen, double tap to wake, self-explanatory, now wakes up. The V for flash, draw a V, turns on flash, as you can probably see right now. And place it correctly again. For some reason it doesn't want to hide unless you unlock the device, as you've just seen. So this more I can actually, so when you draw a V it opens. When you actually unlock the device it hides. If you draw a V once more it stays there or tries to reopen the app that is already open. So moving on, we're gonna go into 3-finger swipe multitasking, which basically you have a, let's open up for instance YouTube, probably the best showcase app considering it doesn't work in the background. You can swipe 3 fingers up and then you can choose another app like for instance Chrome, and you can keep on listening to YouTube for instance and do whatever you want in it, watch some videos while you browse the web. So consider that to be very handy, and it's really quick access considering you can just swipe 3 fingers up, and also 3 fingers up will turn the multitasking windows off and keep the first app on. So it was fairly easy, and you can also enable by how it's normally enabled, which is like when you go into recent apps as I just did and tap on the 3 little bars, you have split screen. Basically works the same way as the 3-finger swipe. So that would be all for now, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.